Okay, we're going to head over to speedscraps.blogspot.com, and as you can see, it's been quite a number of years since Christy's made any updates to her blog, and she has these free scripts available, posted them on Dropbox for us. So the two scripts that I'm going to be talking about today are the copy and close, and you can just click on that and it'll take you over to Dropbox and you can download the file, which I've actually already done, so we're not going to do that, and the supply tracker. I use both of those. You can check out these other ones if you're curious about what those do, but we're going to talk strictly about copy close and supply tracker today. The other thing you want to do is pop over here to the scripts instructions and take a look at the file location for the script file, the JSX file. In particular, this is important if you're working in Photoshop Elements, as you will not have the ability to create your own action. Okay, so in Photoshop Elements, and this is Vista and Windows 7, this also works in higher levels of Windows. The important thing here is the location of the script file. And you can see it's just going into the top level, no user interface here. Program data, Adobe Photoshop Elements for Windows, and that's where you're going to put the .jsx file. Obviously, if you're working on a Mac, that file location is going to be specific to Mac. And note again, this is at a higher level directory and not your user directory here. Okay. All right, now we're going to pop in over to Photoshop Elements. And I'm working in 14, so I've already put the .jsx file into the suggested directory. And as long as you're working in PSE 11 or above, it's going to be pretty easy to install. You're just going to pop over here and do load actions. Navigate to the folder where you have stored this action for your version. And here we are at the copy close. And I'm on a Mac. And here's my ATN file. And we'll just open that up. And you can see that it's basically all the action is doing is it's calling this script file. Okay, we'll come back in a bit and I'll show you how I use these files. Okay, now we're back and I'm working over in my Photoshop Elements program, and I've got a template picked out and my photo and various papers and elements here in my photo bin in order to populate my template. I'm going to start down here on the bottom layer just because that's the background and everything should come in right above that layer, and then I'll move the layers around. And so now here we are, we're ready to see the magic. You'll notice I'm in my PSD file, probably good practice to go ahead and set up your PSD and save it so that you don't end up overwriting your template by mistake. And you'll want to be in your PSD file that is your working layout file when you run this action. So now I'm going to come over here, and here's my action, and here we go, and watch the magic. Okay, here we are back in our PSD file. You can see that the script has pulled over all of my papers and elements here, my photo included, and has closed all of the files that were open out of my project bin. Isn't that awesome? So now I'm going to go to work here, and we'll pop back in a little bit and we'll see how things turned out. And basically I'll run the supply tracker script and you can see what that does. You'll notice that all of these elements and papers came in with the file name as the layer name, and that's going to be real helpful when we go and run the supply tracker script. Okay, folks, here we are. We're back. I am over in my Photoshop Elements program and completed my layout. And you can see I have all of my elements in here, my photo, my papers, got them all clipped down. And I'm ready to run the supply tracker script in order to capture the supplies that I have used here. And so here we are. I'm on my script here, and we'll just go run this action. I'm going to do the visible layers only. Supply tracker is finished, and you can see that the script has captured the file names, or my layer names, and created a text file at the top of my layer stack. Typically, I would go in and delete that particular layer, but we'll just go ahead and turn that off. And the beauty of this is when I go over into my file info, you can see that all of the same information has been copied into the description. I can go in and clean this up and shorten it, edit it, and we can save this and save that in our file. And that file info will be permanently embedded in our PSD file. And if we later create a JPEG file from our PSD, that information will carry over. And there you have it. Those are the copy close and the supply tracker scripts that I use to go through my digital scrapbooking workflow and make things easier for me. I hope this helps you, and until next time.